Yo, what's good? It's your boy Sleepy Beast.k. Back with another analysis. This is Kuzan versus Garp. Kuzan versus Garp. So, let's get straight into it. The fight basically starts when Kobe is running with his future wife, Hibari, and we see that she's been frozen, turned to ice completely by Kuzan, frozen to the core. Sure, so if she falls, she will break and yeah, die basically. So you do see that he doesn't have to touch you for him to permanent freeze you to the core, which is pretty broken. And I don't know what the reason is why he froze her, because there is this implication that she's Akino's son, um, daughter. I mean, so yeah, who basically cares? It goes on in the next panel. I do have to note that despite this, he has conviction in fighting him and doesn't waver as he values saving the future over dwelling on the past. Unless you believe, of course, God contradicted his own moral code, which doesn't seem like it wouldn't make sense. But yeah, we see that God does have conviction and he doesn't waver at all, doesn't falter, doesn't fold. He's determined to fight Kuzan. They have the standoff. Garp says Kuzan, and they have some dialogue with Kuzan saying, "If you can't have this, Kobe, you can't go escaping when Teach isn't around." And we see Garp with over his face, Kuzan chill, and Kobe is also with over his face, panicking. Garp is also calm at the same time. And then the next one, we see that Kuzan is again just thinking. This is the first panel that we see that in the fight of Kuzan being conflicted in the fight. And we see that Garp is screaming, "Hey, Kuzan, put your body back to normal. Let Kobe go. Come back to the Navy." And I don't know if y'all have noticed, but there is black lightning coming from Garp. There is black lightning coming from Garp, admitted from him while he's screaming. I don't know if no one has noticed that, but drawing is a bit odd, a bit blurry, but there's black lightning emanating from Garp. I don't know if anyone has ever noticed. Then we see Kuzan going in his pose, saying, "You always do like to say whatever was on your mind, but I'm afraid I can't help you with any of those things, Garp. I love that. I loved that about you." Again, showing that he's conflicted again, saying that he loves that you see that he's thinking, he's in his thoughts, which is why I live my life the way I want now. Blackbeard Pirates 10 ship captain. Well, we know he's basically the strongest there in the crew, so But yeah, it goes on. He jumps in the air and uses ice ball on Garp. And we see that Garp did see the attack coming because we see that he blocked. And Kuzan says, would you kill your senior apprentice to save your protege? And Garp says, don't be tied down by this nonsense. I thought you to live in the moment. Again, showing that he's not in the moment, he's in the past instead. Again, that he's conflicted. And Garp, whilst talking, is breaking out of the ice. This isn't black lightning, by the way, it's the ice cracking. Oda showing it by the crack sound effect. This isn't black lightning. I know in the just so y'all have to know this is that the anime is not canon. So if we see some lightning or anything like that that never happened in the manga, if you see something in the anime that never happened in the manga, it never happened. It's not canon. So the black lightning that you see that happened, how God broke out of the ice, yeah, that never happened. But cool moment though. Then we see some further pilots saying that it's not working on him. Of course, it's not working on him because he used the same thing on a sick white beard in Marineford, and he was weaker than his current self. And Whitebeard has a counter to it also with his vibration of his devil fruit, and he broke out of it. And then we see that Garp just straight out zips away, grabs Kuzan by the face and says, listen up, Kuzan. Wavering is a sign of weakness. Again, showing that Kuzan is indeed conflicted, whilst Garp isn't. Like, you can show emotion, care about the person, show sorrow, show grief about the person, yet you're still going full power. And we know that when it comes to the youngsters, Garp doesn't matter if he knows you, he will do anything. He will not waver, like it said in his waver quote. Garp doesn't waver even when it comes to people he loves. If it's for the youngsters, he won't waver for the next generation, for the future of the Navy. And Garp is here saying that Kuzan is wavering, again showing why Kuzan is conflicted. We see that armor and haki is coated on Garp's hand, and we see that he kind of perception blitz Kuzan, a conflicted Kuzan. You see that Kuzan is in his arm, Black Lightning shows up, while Garp is charging up his attack. Black Lightning shows, and he screams, blue hole, and I made this for y'all. And it says that this attack is crazy. It shows Garp's crazy superhuman strength. So Garp's attack, the blue hole, is written as, of course, in the Japanese text, in the Japanese chapter, which means falling to the bottom of the ocean. So Oda, of course, might be implying that Kuzan may fall into the sea if not for his freezing ability. So we see that this ability is meant to send you to the depths, to the bottom of the sea, which is very impressive. and it completely relies on your strength mostly, because you're just throwing him into the depths of the sea. Like, wow, nice feat from Garp. See, black lightning of course appears after he charges up with attack, and the black lightning is lingering around Kuzan. And then some little time has passed, not long. See that down there, that Kobe in the background is fighting some pirates. Kicked them. And we have Cruz, we have Helmeppo, and then we hear, we're ready to sail as soon as you are. And Garp says, pull back, we are done here. Come on, Kobe, Cruz, Helmeppo. Yes, sir. This place lives up to its reputation. There's no end to the pirates swarming out of it. So we see that some little time has passed with further pirates swarming them, and at the same time he one-shotted Sanjiwan Wolf, the giant, big, fat, ugly giant. I don't know, ugly ass nigga. He's been, yeah, he's just sleeping with the fishes. It goes on. He uses some further pirates when Vasco Shot uses the Death ability of him, a fire drunk alcohol ability, and he uses the father pirates as a shield. They explode. Simple, calm. And then we see this Kuzan was just watching. See that Garp notices him, and Kuzan says, I'm afraid I can't let you leave yet. We see some dialogue. Ah man, I should have left earlier. I don't want to die. Reese Reese. See that Mepo now has some stamina problems. And when you mention the future of the Navy, did that include me? See that Cruz, of course, is the rival of Kobe. And Garp says you want to keep going, Kuzan. Watch out for Blackbeard officers, Kobe says. And we know that Kobe is of the sword. Kuzan might have something to do with it. It probably has something to do with the sword thing. And we know what happens, of course. And it's also been implied that like you've seen that Kuzan can just freeze the ocean when we just literally see him freeze like three islands, and it was compared to a continent. So he could just do that, but he just didn't. Show that he's conflicted again. He just didn't use Ice Age and freeze the sea so that no one can escape, so that he can't catch anyone. But when you're conflicted, you're not, of course, thinking straight. Garp says, listen up, boys. When I say the word, run for the shore. Just make it out alive. Go. And we see everyone is huffing and puffing, except Garp. He still has stamina left, whilst the others don't. And then some BS happens. Kobe gets distracted. Garp had noticed that and stepped in front of them. It's probably some plot because I don't know how Garp like Garp sensed it and yet still got stabbed. He knew where he was gonna stab, so it's for sure future sight. But he still got stabbed, probably for plot reasons. I really don't like when Oda does this plot BS, but he saw the stab coming from Kobe. He could just if he's so fast to even intercept it, he could just blocked with armament because his armament is greater than that of Shiryu. But I don't know why he didn't plot. And then Kobe being annoying and God saying that it's okay. He just couldn't get to Garp, so he used Kobe as bait to get to them. Nice IQ, better IQ feed from Shiryu. We see that Garp is in pain, and he basically charges up a punch and punches Shiryu into the ground. Shiryu takes that, starts laughing, takes his sword, and he's basically done for the fight. The whole fight. What we have to note is that this is a good um explanation is when you're injured your AP doesn't lower. Like for instance Zoro had 30 broken bones, yet he was still to he could still do that man's game on Kaido and permanently scar him. It doesn't lower your AP. His AP got even greater, to be honest, of Zoro. And we see that Kuzan charging up, telling him that even if God was tied up, they would still do nothing. So this is basically saying that Kuzan is the only one that can fight him on the island, and none of the others have a chance. And they both charge up and clash with a punch. We see Kuzan also used the Ice Glove, probably to amplify the attack for protection also, Ice Glove, and they both clashed. Garp hit the chin of Kuzan, and the Kuzan hit the forehead of Garp, and Black Lightning appears. What you do have to notice that Black Lightning appears to Kuzan, shows that Kuzan does indeed have Conqueror's Haki. There are too many different ways to confirm, to narratively confirm that character has Conquerors. We see Conquerors comes from the fist of Kuzan. Doesn't come anywhere from Garp. We literally see it comes from Kuzan. They both clash. We literally see Black Lightning also coming from Garp, and the ability blows up and shows the same AoE but greater than the Galaxy Impact, because we see that from a perspective it basically scales almost to the skull, and we see Black Lightning appears. And you know what's weird? Like, is that they are in this. If y'all are telling me that they did the same amount of damage, but all of this is coming from God, but Kuzan did that with just his ice glove type of reason that that's nice. I love Kuzan, but I'm not gonna say that at all. He's not doing that. This is what also confirms that he does have conquerors. Now there are ways when you use your body, then you're not connecting, but that's true, but that's when you're focusing your AP in one place and amplifying it even more with your Conqueror's Haki, which they both did focus their AP and did use advanced Conquerors, but they just didn't put more AP in it, put more Haki in it so that they're not connecting, but we see that they do connect. And we see with lightning emitting from the attack, we see a huge bubble also, implying advanced armament. That's Kuzan and Garp, they matched it. If you're telling me everything is coming from Garp, I don't know what you're reading, even though they did the same amount of damage. Also implies that Kuzan holding back, being conflicted. His AP is evenly matched with a all-out Garp. We do see that Kuzan is later on matching Garp's punches, and that Garp hasn't lost his overall strength, maybe some categories in strength, but overall he hasn't lost any. We do see him commenting on his age, but he's not commenting on like he's losing strength or something like that. He's commenting on a attack that he's doing. He did Galaxy Impact, so he's just saying that in my prime that should have done more. In my prime that should have done more. In my prime the cannonball should have flown farther. We see that they both matched the punch. Kuzan used Ice Glove, like I've said, to amplify the attack. And they both fall. And we see that Garp is more turned than on Kuzan, which is wow. They evenly matched in the clash. Whether you think Kuzan has Conquerors, Advanced Conquerors or not, he matched it. Even though he has it, yeah, it doesn't matter what you think, he matched it. The fight goes on, and we see that Garp is hurt from the punch. And this time he's calm, saying that justice will prevail. And we see that Kuzan got up first before Garp. And we see that Kuzan again is saying that he's concerned, showing that he's conflicted, that he doesn't want to do this. And we see that Garp does want to do this, saying to Kuzan that, oh, you're soft if you're concerned. And blitzes Kuzan again, caught Kuzan off guard, shoulder pushes him away. And there are multiple narrative confirmations of you doubting, being concerned, being conflicted, does have an effect on your stats extremely. It does have an effect on your stats. At this point, it's obvious that God knows that he can't escape, showing that he said that he is going to create an opening, implying that I'm creating an opening and y'all have to take it, but I'm not gonna come. I can't come because I know that I can't escape. So I'm gonna have to hold off Kuzan for y'all to escape. Even Garp is implying that he cannot beat Kuzan. And we see that Garp has been captured, whether he did that willingly or not, he was defeated by Kuzan. Now I just have to notice that Kuzan, this battle wasn't challenging for Kuzan, but it was challenging for Garp, as we see that Garp is trying to stop Kuzan, to put down Kuzan, not to kill him, but to put down Kuzan. It goes on, he's laughing, and we see Kuzan again showing his face being afflicted. He's crying, with Garp also crying. And we see that what's weird is that Kuzan, even though he had multiple close encounters with Garp, and we know that he doesn't have to be close to use it, but it's much better when he's close. He had so many close encounters and he never used his permanently freezing technique that freezes you to the core. He never got punched and turned into ice and got turned into air and came back, formed back. He never used any of his devil fruit ability. He never used any of his devil fruit abilities except Ice Glove against Garp and the Ice Ball. Nothing else. Well, something that I have to notice that we see that the Logia users, their high potency attacks come from their palms. We see that with Volcano opening his palm, taking off Whitebeard's face. Kuzan did that against Jozu. He completely froze him to the core, broke off his arm. Same with Kizaru when he uses his palm. He's blocking Gear 5, Gear 4 of attacks from Luffy. So you see that the Logias, same with Crocodile and uses his palm. He completely sucks you to the core, pause. So every time you see a Logia use their palm, that's their most high potency attacks. And he never used his palm at all against Garp. He never used his ice time against Garp, even though he was so close to Garp. Mid punch, you could just ice time Garp. And same with his palm, he never did that. He instantly froze Jozu, his diamond armor and his advanced armament hack. He instantly froze through it to the core and broke off his arm. So we do know that he can instantly freeze you to the core and break off your arm. Now, of course, he tried to freeze Garp here. He didn't try to kill him. because we do see that he's impaled, but that's more like to give the impression that he's impaled, even though Garp isn't impaled by the eye shot that Kuzan did on him, where they are crying, you know. Now, what you also have to notice that Kuzan never tried to freeze Garp to the core, even though he could literally touch him here. That scene in the anime never happened where he completely freezes Garp's arm and Garp just counters it. So we basically see that Kuzan versus Garp, it was Garp that was putting in most of the work. I do see that Garp was the one putting in most of the work. If y'all haven't noticed that Garp didn't take so many attacks. He took a stab, took the ice ball, and the punch from Kuzan. Same for his stamina. So Garp is basically an admiral, but with extremely lower weak stats. You see that it's basically Kuzan that has the upper hand. It's obvious that Kuzan has the upper hand here. It's so many times being implied that Kuzan is conflicted. We don't see Kuzan going all out because we do know what happens when Kuzan is going all out. He permanently freezes you. And as with Aokiji, Kizaru's struggle between his duty and his paternal Felix is carefully portrayed in this chapter as well. Kaido, on the other hand, was not bothered and just wanted to create a world where violence is everything. Oh, that's a genius, of course. So, it's pretty much obvious who actually won the battle. It was Kuzan. You see that Kuzan won the battle, of course. It's so obvious. I'm not defending him, praising him, downplaying Garp. W Garp though, but you see that Kuzan has the upper hand, even though Garp was the one putting more effort. You did see that Garp didn't falter, didn't waver at all to fight Kuzan. He wasn't conflicted at all, while we see Kuzan is conflicted and didn't use any of his devilhood abilities, or even though he had so many chances of using them with his haki and didn't use it at all. And we do know that what happens when Kuzan is going all out. He has stamina for 10 days and he can basically reform a whole island permanently and create his own Ice Age continent. And we literally see this guy freezing the islands with, which is being compared to a continent in One Piece, and continents are much bigger than in real life. Continents in One Piece are basically islands. They are considered islands in One Piece, but continents are big, and he did not use that at all, of course. Now you might say that he can't use that, otherwise his whole crew would be would freeze. First is that he doesn't care. We do know that he froze them when he came on the island, so we can just do that and escape. And second is, it's been implied that Kuzan can freeze the ocean, but he just didn't do it. Shows that he's conflicted. He just didn't do that at all, even though Pizarro literally stated it out loud that Kuzan can do that, and yet Kuzan did not do it. If you all have noticed that Kuzan hasn't used any of his absolute abilities except Ice Glove and Ice Block, which the Ice Ball isn't that powerful at all. You see Sick Beard getting out of it, and the only absolute attack that he basically did use was just a guard, a amplifier, Ice Glove, and the rest was just hockey. Now, what's weird is that people think that from a few punches, Kuzan lost Garp. I don't know what you're reading, to be honest. It's quite stupid. Same for Garp. We literally see Garp putting in so much effort in it. Now, Garp got stabbed, so he got weakened even more. If he didn't get stabbed, it would probably be a mid-div for Kuzan if Garp had all out. But we do see that Kuzan has this battle against Old Garp low div. Kuzan was pretty calm. He was damaged visibly. We do see that Garp has higher AP than Gear 5 Luffy. Gear 5 Luffy couldn't permanently damage Kizaru at all. After Egghead, we see Kizaru is pretty fine, and we see that Kuzan's is not. He's bleeding and he's wounded. And if y'all don't know what low div means, for it's not a mid div. It's not a mid div. What really happened, because mid div is when the fight is really challenging but manageable, and the fight wasn't any challenge for Kuzan. He was just conflicted thinking the whole time, which made it look like a challenge but isn't. And we do see that the fight was a challenge for Garp. He admitted to himself that I'm not gonna escape the island. I can't. I'm gonna have to hold back Kuzan. Really see him doing that. And loaded is when you're fighting and you basically put in minimum effort and you're almost not wounded or not even wounded at all. We see that Kuzan is wounded when he put minimum effort, because we do see what happens when Kuzan puts in effort. The fight with Akino is a good example. With Kuzan putting full power effort, he's permanently affecting the island, and he didn't do that at all. People are saying that Kuzan went all out. I don't see any ice mountain anywhere or something. So yeah, it's basically obvious. Watch go view my community post on the low diff, mid diff, high diff, extreme diff explanations, no diff, neg, and the fight basically wasn't a mid diff. It wasn't a challenge for Kuzan. It was manageable, and basically mid diff is a challenge and it's manageable, and it was a challenge for Garp, and he did not manage to beat Kuzan. With Kuzan putting minimum effort, he got damaged a little. He was bleeding. He got damaged a little. And we do see that Garp did more attacks on Kuzan than Kuzan did on him. Again, showing that Kuzan put minimum effort compared to Garp. hence why it's a low diff. And if Garp wasn't stab, it would probably be a mid diff. So stop downplaying the Admirals. Y'all can say I'm an Admiral Glazer or something. Nah, yeah. Say what you like. Boneheads, idiots. I love every single character in One Piece. I love One Piece overall. I can please any character. I'm not downplaying any character. I can even please Blackbeard, but I'm not that kind of guy. But we do see that Kuzan versus old Garp. Kuzan won low diff. If Garp wasn't step, it would be a mid diff for Kuzan still. Y'all are just choosing old Garp because it's, yeah, Garp, and it's Kuzan and Admiral. And no, I'm not gonna go in depth with this stupid hollow head bonehead. Well, thank you for watching. With your boy Stevie in peace as always. God bless you.